Welcome to Sustainable Leadership Live. I'm Lisa Danforth, your host, and today I have the spectacular Suzanne Tregenza Moore, which I am so excited to have her on because I have known her for so many years, and it's so great to bring you, Suzanne, to talk about how to launch a successful nonfiction book. So I say let's jump right in.
Great.
Got about 20 minutes. Let's run. Share a little bit about you, if you wouldn't mind, and how you got into this, because you are a best-selling author and a book coach. And how did you get into this?
So I am a best-selling author. I want to just say I coach people about the book, not about writing it.
Mm-hmm.
I do everything about the marketing and after the book. And I think that's an important distinction because despite being an author, I'm not really a writer and I'm definitely not an editor.
Go with your strength.
I'm delighted to be here. And thank you so much just for having me and for, letting me share this with people. So I kind of fell into helping people launch books. I was doing marketing coaching. And I was in a mastermind, and the leader of the mastermind was encouraging a lot of the members to write their business book, right? And of course, I was like all gung ho, and I was going to write my business book. And I took another course in writing the book and launching the book and all the things around the book, right? And then, of course, many of the people in the mastermind got their book written a lot faster than I did. And one of them was a really good friend. And I said, I learned about launching books. Would you like me to help you launch your book? And she said, oh, I would love it. Thank you so much. Yeah. So we did a launch and it was on Amazon and we had a top 5 bestseller. And I thought we would have a number 1, but I also thought we were doing a Kindle book only. And we were doing a physical book, which was like the questions you don't know to ask the first time you do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and actually now I've done many, many launches where people have had number 1s with their physical books, but there's more that goes into it. So I fell into it. And then I had done that for her. So somebody else asked me, and then somebody else asked me, and then somebody else asked me. And soon I had a whole bunch of people that I'd helped get bestsellers. Most of them were number 1 bestsellers after that first time. And I love working with authors. I love helping them to do that. And really, it's so simple in many ways. It seems like such a complex thing to do, but it's so simple. And I now worked with, I'm not sure how many authors, but probably more than somewhere between 35 and 50. And gotten them, helped them get, I haven't gotten them, helped them get number 1 bestseller status on Amazon. And even I've worked with some that, launching on Amazon wasn't important for them, but I've helped them through the process of launching their book and supporting them, which after writing a book, you kind of need some help because it's such an overwhelming thing to do. And it feels like you've just gotten to the end, but really you're at the beginning.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the green room, right? When you write that book, it's so awesome you're putting it out there, but we often forget that follow-up, which is really essential in having a successful book, actually making money from your book, getting speaking gigs.
Yes.
We can't just write the book and put it out there, hang the shingle. So what's most important for people to start focusing on as they're writing their book, as they're thinking about marketing?
So I think the most important thing, and I say this about marketing all the time, begin with the end in mind, right? You want to think about the actions that you want the readers to take as you're writing the book. And of course, for most of us who are writing a nonfiction book, we have something else that we want to sell people, right? Whether it's a course, I mean, maybe we're a coach, maybe we're a service provider, and we want to upsell people to working one-on-one with us, or maybe we're selling them an idea, right? Maybe we're selling them a belief system or a way to get through a trauma or something like that. But in any of those realms, we want to position ourselves to be selling the thing that comes beyond the book, right? And so I think it's really important as you're writing the book to think about, what am I saying here that I want to say on a bigger stage?
Mm.
And how am I monetizing this? Because for all the people who are thinking about writing books and who are writing books, who have written books, the book sales themselves are not ever going to be what makes you money.
Mhm. So true. So, and I
It
think we
is
forget that.
how you leverage the book that
Mhm.
makes you money.
Can I just jump in? Do you think that is that something people neglect to think about, the leveraging that
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake people make is that they think that the book sales themselves are
Mhm.
going to be like a new revenue stream in their business, and they're really not. And the other thing that people do is, and I did this when I was first launching books, I helped people launch free Kindle books or $1 Kindle books, right? And I recommend against that now, because I have just as much success helping people achieve bestseller status with a physical book.
Mhm.
And on for most nonfiction authors, you're going to sell more books on the day your book launches than you might ever again, or
Mhm.
than you will per year. And so you want to, I mean, get some money back from what it cost you.
I mean, we always hear reaching that bestseller status on the first day. Can you share some tips, strategies, insights, or whatever that you have your people do to really start preparing for that launch day?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I kind of have a 5-step process that I walk people through, and I hold their hands through it. But the
Mhm.
one thing that the authors have to do is they have to build a launch team.
Mhm.
And that launch team is made up of all of their friends, entrepreneurial friends, uh, um, colleagues, all the people they know that believe in them and are willing to say, "Hey, my friend's got a book today,"
Mhm.
right? And he or she is launching his book today, and I'd love to share it with you in case it might be something you want, right? So that is number one. They have to build the launch team. And then they have to ask them to do specific things. And really, that's about, on the launch day, I would like you to do this.
Mhm.
And here's all the stuff that you need to do it.
I think that's so important. I just want to jump in. I've had several people reach out to me to share, and they literally share graphics,
Oh,
copy
yeah,
for Twitter, copy for Facebook, copy for LinkedIn. So it
absolutely.
makes it so very simple to cut and paste. You can customize if you want. That blew me away when I've gotten those. It's like that is such a beautiful preparation. It makes it
Yeah,
so easy for people to just share.
absolutely. And that's what I do for the authors I work with, is that I create all that stuff for them,
Mhm.
because um because let's face it, when you have just written a book, you're like, I'm exhausted, right? I'm tired.
Yeah.
I put my blood, sweat, tears, and energy into this manuscript, and it's finally ready to go out into the world. And there's part of you that just wants to like hit the button, publish, and walk away,
Yeah.
because it's been such a thing. But um but number one, you need to market it. And I
Mhm.
think the biggest mistake that a lot of authors make is not making a big deal of that launch moment. um, and so you need to market it, and you want I just totally lost my train of thought. um,
You wanna market it, you wanna pull together your team so that you can have people, putting it out there, and then I think you were on number 3 when I interrupted you, so I apologize.
No, no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, no. Anyway, so you want to build a team, and you want to tell them exactly what you want, and you want to give them everything they need. And oh, I know what I was going to say. A lot of people at the end of that book process, that writing process, you say to them, "Okay, now we need to build a launch team." And they say, "Well, I feel like," they don't feel good. They're
Mhm,
nervous to ask people to
mhm.
help them. And people be like, "Well, do I have to do this for them? Do I have to give them this? Do I have to give them that?" I'm like, haven't you ever done anything for someone just because you're a good person
Mhm.
and just because they've done nice things for you? Or
What's the worst thing they're going to say? No.
no, that's the
Don't
worst
make
thing they're
right,
going to
don't make it
say.
about you, make it about the impact that your book is there to provide.
Absolutely. And ask people for whom you know the audience they interact with
Mm.
will value the book. Will,
So true.
that's really important. So in the process, then you want to get people excited about it. You want to be on social media talking about your upcoming book. You want to share the cover. You want to, build the excitement before your launch day. And then on launch day, you want to incentivize people to buy that day with some kind of goodie, right? So a lot of times my authors will give away a bookmark, or they will give
Mm.
away a book plate, which is actually just a sticker that they have printed and sign and will mail off to anyone who purchased the book that day. Very inexpensive to do,
Mhm. But
and
it's
yet
thoughtful
but
and
thoughtful.
personalized.
And if you say, "Listen, for the first 100 people who buy my book today, I will, um, I will send you a sticker. All you have to do is, or a book plate. You don't say sticker. I'll send you a book plate that is signed personally to
Mhm.
you or to anyone you wish it to be." Right,
As a
and
gift.
that's
Beautiful.
really thoughtful.
Mhm.
And it encourages people. Oh, I want to buy today because I want to get one of those. So it's all those little things that add up that create a successful launch. And again, maybe you're not an Amazon person. I know a lot of people these days are kind of, I try not to buy from them, or they're such a conglomerate. Whatever works for you. I've helped a lot of people sell their books and do launches when they don't care about Amazon.
Mhm.
Um, but the same rules apply, right? Get a team and ask them for help, and know that you're worthy of that help. Believe in the message of your book and don't make it about you,
So true.
right? Like, so many people get to that launch point and they're like, is anyone going to even read this?
I think we would all feel that pretty much. Even I've heard, Brené
Yeah.
Brown or whatever say each new book, it's like, do people really want to read about that? So
Again.
you had yeah, again, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had 5 things that you take people through, and you were
Yes.
at number 4?
Okay. So it's team,
Mhm.
telling the team what you want and need them to do, providing them everything they need to do it, getting them and everyone else very excited by promoting it and talking about it, and
Which means
then
that you
getting
have to be
those
very excited.
sales. What's that?
Which means that you have to be very excited, not timid.
Yes,
Mhm.
correct. And then getting those sales,
Mhm.
incentivizing those sales on the day. So those are the 5 things.
I love it.
Yeah,
Simple, not always easy, but it's simple, which is not being easy is why people will reach out to you to help that strategy so it can really be successful.
right. And I love to do it for people because most of the authors I work with are women, not exclusively, but most
Mhm.
of them are. And so many times what they really, really need is that person to be their cheerleader at the
Mhm.
end of the book writing process, to say, "You are worthy, your book is worthy, your message is worthy, and it's okay to ask for help,"
Mhm.
right?
So
Yeah,
true. In everything, literally everything. We always need a champion to get ourselves out there and help build our self-confidence, especially if it's something I mean, it's very vulnerable to put your thoughts and your brilliance in a book and put it out there, this
it
is
is extremely
nonfiction, so
vulnerable.
yeah.
Yes, it is I mean, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, I think it's extremely vulnerable to write all that, and I
Mhm.
know that through my own experience, I processed a lot in writing my book. And so I think you feel the vulnerability of that experience too, right? And you're really claiming something. And then you're like, what if I claim this? And people are like, I don't know what the hell you're talking
Right.
about. right?
Okay. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be for everyone. It definitely doesn't have to be for everyone. So, Suzanne, what are some of the other mistakes that you see people make that they can be aware of and be starting to think about how to navigate that?
Yeah. So, well, number one mistake for sure is just like finishing the book and hitting publish
Mhm,
on Amazon or wherever, right?
mhm. And then,
Please don't do that. Number two is people will write a manuscript and then they might get a line editor. So somebody who does like proofreading,
mhm,
um, but they don't get a developmental editor. And I can say from looking from launching the many books that I have helped launch and not reading fully all of them, but certainly perusing them,
mhm.
a developmental editor is probably the best thing you can get
Really?
if you're writing a book because they're going to tell you what the problems with the book are, and they probably aren't that difficult to overcome.
Right.
But boy, will they make a difference to the value that people see in that book. The other absolute like biggest mistake I see people make is not having a plan for how that book takes someone from getting to know you to you making money from that person.
Mhm.
And obviously, not everyone who reads your book is going to hire you on a one on one basis or join a group that you run or whatever. But you need to have that linear direction that people are going because otherwise, you know, there was no real reason to write the book because it's that other place where you're going to make the money.
Yeah. I think that is so very important. Even with a social media post, it's, have a call to action. What do you want them to do? They're going to take the information and just simply move on. But starting like at the beginning, starting with the end in mind, is what you had said, is
Yes.
how you're really going to create the greatest impact, but also income.
Absolutely. And I say that with I have a membership where I teach people about marketing all the time. And I feel like half the modules I put together for it, I start with let's start with the end in mind. What is the action you want people to take? Because
Right.
ultimately that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
That's where we make our money. And that's where we serve, really. Right? So it's not just about making the money. It's actually about where we are serving people.
So true. It's so true. And to have that, to be able to offer that additional support. There's so many people. How many books have we all read and we've walked away with maybe a little bit of information that we implement, but not that much. But to
Right.
have the goal of saying, if you'd like additional support, here's how
Yes.
you can reach out to me. Are there other ways that you can suggest for people to start making money on their book other than, I mean, like we discussed, sales are not where you're going to be making the money? Can you share a couple of different points that people could be thinking about with their book once it's published?
Well, it's really about creating the right marketing plan for you that will take you to those other sales, right? So,
Mhm.
are you great at being interviewed? And is that your marketing strategy? Are you great at speaking on stages? And is that your marketing strategy? Are you great at guest blogging? And is that your marketing
Mhm.
strategy? I have started working with authors post launch now and really kind of helping them hone in on let's nail one of these strategies. Because I think the mistake that people make, another one, is trying to do all of those things at once.
Mhm. That's after writing the book, it's like,
Right, but even still, like, they're like, "Well, I want a speaking gig, but I want an interview, but I want this, and I'm gonna guest blog, and blah, blah." And whereas if they're like, "Okay, this is where I'm gonna focus for the next 6 months till I nail it, and then I'm gonna expand to the next whatever marketing strategy." It that makes a huge difference. So figure out what the marketing strategy is for you. By the way, based on your own personal strengths,
thank you.
right?
Not what
If
everyone else
you
is doing.
if you hate speaking on stages,
Mhm.
don't start there.
But if
Right?
you want to, I mean, I know I've had clients who are deathly afraid, but once they started it, they were like, and now I have one that's just out speaking a bunch and on podcasts, and she's got her first speaking gig in January. So if it scares you, start small. If you just absolutely hate it, let it go.
Right. Listen. ideally, anyone who's marketing is doing all of these things,
Mhm.
right? But my encouragement to people is start with the things that you're more comfortable with, because you're going to make more progress more quickly there,
So true.
and then add the things that are further outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, start small, incrementally build the muscle, and can you continue to grow and start to develop all of the different avenues that you had talked about, which is in anything in life. But we forget about that because it's so important and it's so near and dear to us that we just want to get it out there. But you've provided some amazing tips and tools. I love that first 5 that you talked about. It's so important. We can't neglect that. And we have to be able to put ourselves out there and ask for help. We are community-oriented creatures. So,
Yeah.
Suzanne, can you believe it? We are at time. I would love to ask you a question. What one habit or boundary has supported you to live and lead a more sustainable life?
I think um, I think one of the best things that I've done is sitting down once a week and making a list of things that are important to me
Mm.
to achieve that coming week. When I do that consistently, I crush my goals so much better. Whether they're personal, whether they're
Mhm.
business, that that time, and it's not usually that long.
Especially if
Um,
you get into the habit of it.
if you get in the habit, exactly. That time makes enormous difference. And so I would say that is the best habit that I have implemented. And it helps me to create the boundaries that I need to say no to things that aren't going to fit into
Yeah.
that list of things that are the most important things that week.
I love that. Boundaries support us in really creating a successful life, personally and professionally. So that is
Absolutely.
awesome. Thank you
Yep.
so much, Suzanne. Where can people reach out to you, connect with you? What social media platform do you prefer? Website?
So I've really been concentrating on hanging on LinkedIn, although, I'm around, but Suzanne Tregenza Moore on LinkedIn. And then you can find me at my website, suzannetmoore.com. And I have a bunch of freebies there. I'd love to connect with you. You can sign up for a virtual coffee chat if any of this sounded interesting, or you want to chat
Mhm.
more about it.
Yeah. Can you name one of the freebies that people can reach out to you for on your
Absolutely,
website?
yeah. I have a freebie that is about 5 steps, you can take to achieve an Amazon bestseller.
Okay.
So, you know, hop on over to suzannetmoore.com and grab it.
Absolutely. Suzanne, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to everyone.
Absolutely. Thank
Can't
you.
believe we're at December tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Anyway, next week, December 7th, I have Jody Flynn, who is going to be talking about how to not only adapt, but to thrive to your work, your life, all of the different things that we've got going on. So please join next week, December 7th, 10 a.m. East Coast, 7 a.m. Pacific for those who are calling in from the Pacific West Coast. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, Suzanne. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.